set my heart afire.
Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. For today's look, we're going to be doing a simple, romantic, sexy Valentine's Day look using only drugstore products. This is for you guys that love drugstore makeup. I use a combo of drugstore and high-end. So I pulled out all my drugstore for this look. I hope you guys really enjoy it, and I really love the way it turned out. It's definitely a very wearable look for Valentine's Day, even though I'm over here looking like a cheetah girl. If you grew up watching Cheetah Girls, comment down below. I used to love watching Cheetah Girls. If you would like to see how I created this look using all of my drugstore products, then please keep on watching and let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with eyeshadow. I'm going to go ahead and prime my lids with the Maybelline Fit Me. This is in the shade Light, Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. So usually I go in with my Tarte Shape Tape, and instead we're going to use the drugstore Maybelline Concealer. And I'm just going to put it right on my lids as usual to prime them. I'm just going to take a brush and blend it out. For today's drugstore palette, I'm going to be using the ColourPop You Had Me at Hello. This one is pretty much brand new. I received this in my BoxyCharm a while ago, and I barely used it, so I'm going to go ahead and use that one today. I would consider ColourPop drugstore because it is found in the drugstore section at Ulta. It's very cheap. It's pretty much the same prices or cheaper than some drugstore products. I asked a friend if this was considered, and she said she considered it drugstore since it's so cheap. And now that you can buy it at Ulta. So the first shade I'm going to be picking up is this shade right here for the transition. And this shade is called Moonstruck. And I'm just taking a fluffy Morphe brush. This is the R37. So I'm going to go ahead and put that right in the crease. And I'm just going to blend it outwards. Okay, I think I got the names wrong on this palette. It's kind of hard to tell, but I believe the first shade that I used is called Two Peas, not Moonstruck. And then this shade right here is what we're going to be taking next, and this is called Pulling Strings. And I'm taking it on a Morphe 433. We're just putting that right in the crease. And then also blending it outwards. So what is everybody's plans for Valentine's Day? I usually don't do anything crazy or special. I've been married for 6 years now, and you know, after a while it's just another day to us. We just go big for our anniversary, which just passed. So we like to just chill at home pretty much because me and my husband both hate crowds. And you know, on Valentine's Day, everywhere there's a crowd, and everywhere there's a long waiting time to be seated. So we just like to chill at home. I'll usually just like make cute things like desserts, like chocolate covered strawberries or some brownies. I think that's what I did last year, and he loved it. He had to work last year, and I believe again this year he has to work because it's on a work day. We were more into it when we were younger and just dating, because you know, you want to impress each other. He used to bring me chocolates and bouquet of flowers to my work when we used to live in Texas. But now, since our marriage anniversary is so close, he usually buys me all that for our anniversary. So now I'm going to go back in with the first brush. I'm not going to pick up any product. Just going to blend this out. So now when we're finished blending that out, we're gonna go ahead and cut the crease using concealer again, the Maybelline Fit Me. This is in the shade Light. And I'm just gonna put some right on the back of my hand. And then I'm gonna take a concealer brush. Well, really this is a lip brush that I use, but I love it to cut the crease just because of how flat it is. This is the M170-2. So now that we applied the concealer, I'm going to go ahead and take a flat brush. This is the Morphe M167. You guys know this is my favorite brush for packing on color on the lid. And then I'm going to go ahead and use a drugstore makeup fixing mist. This is the Pixie setting spray. I'm going to go ahead and spray my brush and then kind of wipe it and make sure that it's not like soaking wet. I'm gonna pick up this shade right here, and this is called Moonstruck, and it is a very light golden shimmer shade. And we're gonna go ahead and pack that on the lid right on top of the concealer. Okay, there's a spot that I need to apply more concealer that I'm looking at in the mirror. There we go. And then just go right over it. Now that we have that done, I'm going to go ahead and go back in the shade Pulling Strings with that same 433 brush. And we're just going to blend out the end of this. So you just want to pack on that color right here. Just so it blends out nicely. And then I'm going to go back in and take that brush we used for the shimmer and then just kind of lightly go over it just so you can have a nice blend. And then we're gonna go back in with that shade we used for the transition. Well, the brush, we're not picking up any product. I'm just blending all of this together, making sure there's no harshness. Then I'm gonna go in with a angled brush like this. This is the M207 by Morphe. And then I'm gonna take that same shade we used in the crease, the Pulling Strings color, and I'm gonna kind of detail the cut crease a little bit because I could see some shadow that got out of place. Plus it will kind of show a little bit more contrast. So I'm gonna go ahead and just go over it very carefully. And then I'm going to go back in with the 433 brush that we used for that color. And then just kind of try to blend it so it's not like a harsh line. And then take that same brush you used for transition and go back over that again. Now I'm going to go ahead and take a brush with nothing on it, and I'm just going to go back over it just to make sure everything is nice and blended out and kind of soften it up a little bit. Now for my wing liner, I'm going to go ahead and use NYX. This is the matte liquid liner. I really love this liner. I use it all of the time. It is super black, and that's what I love about this. It's super black and dries matte. So now that we're done with the wing, I'm going to go ahead and pop on some lashes. I'm going to be using the same Ardell 203s. You can find these at Sally's or Ulta, anywhere that they sell Ardell. Should have these. These are the double ups. So I've already prepped my skin with moisturizer and primer. I do use drugstore products. This is the Neutrogena Hydro Boost Water Gel. I love using this. I use this on a daily. Definitely one of my favorite moisturizers because it's not too heavy and doesn't leave your face greasy or oily. And then for primer, I went ahead and put on this NYX No Filter Primer. This is a really good drugstore primer to make your skin look blurring. This is a blurring primer. It fills in all of your pores and makes it look super smooth. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started with the foundation. For today's foundation, you guys already know my favorite is the Maybelline Fit Me. And I'm in the shade 220 Natural Beige. I'm gonna go ahead and put some on the back of my hand. And for my application, I'm actually going to use a brush instead of a beauty blender. So I like to switch back and forth. I definitely feel that using the brush, it gives you more full coverage. And also this brush I got as a set through Do Color. I really like this brush. Now again, taking Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. This is in the shade Sand. I'm gonna go ahead and conceal my under eyes and highlight. I love the formula of this, but I just hate that it's like a tiny little applicator. Now we're just gonna blend out. For setting powder, you guys already know my favorite is Maybelline Fit Me. This is in the shade 10. Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder is seriously the best. And now I'm gonna take some of the powder. We're just gonna bake. So while the powder is setting, I'm gonna go ahead and smoke out the bottom lash line. I like to do this before I wipe away the powder in case I have any fallout. You could just wipe the powder away and it goes right away with it. So I'm gonna go in and take that same shade we used in the crease. It's called Pulling Strings. And I'm just gonna take a little tiny definer brush. This is the E36, perfect for getting right in there on the lash line. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of that. Pop that right there. So now I'm gonna go ahead and dust off the rest of this powder. So you know how I like to set the rest of my face using my Bare Minerals powder foundation? Well, instead, I'm gonna substitute that for the Maybelline Fit Me one. This is the Matte and Poreless Compact Powder. This is for normal to oily skin. So I'm gonna use this in place of that. And this is in the shade 120. I get oily very easily, especially in my T-zone, so that is why I like to go in and set the rest of my face. And I'm using tapping only because if you buff like this in circles, it's just gonna move your foundation and it's not gonna look nice and flawless. So I like to tap it in. Now that we're done with that, I'm gonna go ahead and bronze using the NYX Matte Bronzer. This is in the shade Deep Tan. I used to use this a lot. For blush, I'm going to go in with this e.l.f. palette. I've had this for a really long time. I'm going to go ahead and pick up this warm shade and we're going to pop that on the cheeks. So before I put on highlight, I'm going to go ahead and set my face using the Pixi Makeup Fixing Mist Setting Spray. And for highlight, I'm going in with my absolute favorite highlight from the drugstore. This is the Maybelline Master Chrome, and this is in the shade Molten Gold. If you haven't tried this highlight yet, you are missing out because it is so blinding. And they also have like different shades. I'm also going to take my finger and put some right on the tip of the nose and a little bit down the bridge. Then I'm also going to take a little detailer brush and I'm going to put some right in the inner corners. And a little bit on the brow. Oh, also, I forgot to mention that the only thing I didn't use drugstore is my brows. I used my Anastasia pomade. I don't own any brow products from the drugstore, but I did set it with the eyebrow gel from NYX, which is drugstore. This is the Control Freak eyebrow gel. Works amazing. Now I'm going to go ahead and spray one more time to lock in the highlights and just make everything look less powdery. So one more time. Smells really, really good too. I believe it's like rose water. Yes, rose water and green tea. Smells amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and put a brown liner in my waterline. I don't want to use black because I feel like that's a little too harsh for what I'm going for. I'm going for a more softer look. Even though I have this bold black liner, I just don't want it to be really, really bold on the bottom lash line. So I'm going to go ahead and go in with a dark brown shade. This is by Jante Blue. I always use it. I don't know if it's drugstore. I've never seen it in stores. But I'm going to go ahead and use it anyways because it's the only brown liner that I have. See how it kind of just gave it a little something something without being like super dark? That is exactly what I was going for. And then now we're going to go ahead and go in with mascara. The only drugstore mascara I have at the moment is the L'Oreal Telescopic. When I purchased this, I didn't realize that I bought the brown one. I meant to buy black, but... So now it's time to get started with the lips. I'm going to go ahead and clean them off. And for the lip, I wanted to do a bold, bright red. So I'm going to go ahead and take this ColourPop. And this is in the shade Creeper. It is a beautiful, bright, I would say orange tone red. And then I'm going to go ahead and line it with NYX lip liner. And this is in the shade Hot Red. And then what I'd like to do to clean up any spots that you went out of the line, like I have that spot right there, I just take a little bit of the foundation and put it on the back of my hand and use that little tiny brush that I used earlier. So beauties, this is the finished look. Super sexy and classy for Valentine's Day. I think anybody could rock this look. If you don't want to go for a bold red lip, you can easily switch this out for a more nude shade. It would definitely look really, really well with these eyes as well. But I wanted to spice it up and make it romantic and sexy for Valentine's Day. I love rocking a red lip for special occasions. So this would be a really nice occasion to break out your red lipstick. Let me know in the comments if you guys really enjoyed this look. Before you leave, make sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to follow me on all of my social media. I have Facebook, which is Brittany Beauty. I do go live once a week. So if you guys want to watch me do a makeup look live, make sure to follow me on there. Also, Instagram is Brittany Fierro. And that is it for this video, beauties. I hope everyone has a wonderful and romantic Valentine's Day. Let me know in the comments what you guys are doing for Valentine's Day. That is it, beauties. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.
You know me saying that it feels right, it feels right, it feels right, yeah. You know me saying that it feels right.